crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.
Oh, Panasonic. What a disappointment. There's the Atari Jaguar right up there, and there's the 26. There's the 2600. That's the black version, the Star Wars like version. I'm not even gonna sing the song. Anyway, yeah. See how big? Look. See how big the Panasonic boxes are. Look at this. This is huge. They're huge. But then they also have some of them in jewel cases. I don't see Road Rash anywhere because Road Rash was widely regarded as one of the better games on the Panasonic 3DO, and even Wing Commander as well, which had Mark Hamill in it. So I'm surprised I don't see that anywhere. I'm shocked. And remember when I showed you the Atari Jaguar? That's all down here. They even have the box right here, which looks incredible. That's Star Fox in the background, isn't it? Yep, that's Star Fox in the background. Yeah. There's Cybermorph, a cult game on the... I wouldn't call it a cult game because people did not like Cybermorph at all. Because the graphics in it, I'm going to be honest with you, they were pretty bad. People only remember specifically because of her. Her name is Skylar, and she's known for saying this quote, "Where did you learn to fly?" People only remember her specifically for that comment, which is a shame. But hey, better than nothing, right? All the Atari 2600 classics. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible because, like, it's so deep that, you know, trying to cover this one section alone will take me forever, which I'm trying not to be too long. They even have a lot of the Activision games. Don't you guys remember all the Activision games where you know, the Activision games that you would see on compilation titles that were on the Atari 2600? One of them was Grand Prix, right? There was Grand Prix, and then there was Kaboom. Kaboom was a fun game. Laser Blast. I actually thought Laser Blast was one of the more addicting games on Atari. This is actually one of my personal favorite games of the Activision titles on 2600. So, oh, that's what those are. I didn't notice until now. That's the Intellivision. That's the Intellivision 2. That's the original Atari with the wooden panel and all of that. Oh, of course, I cannot talk about the 2600 without mentioning E.T. in the collection. What's the retail price? That is what, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. Also, remember when, Nintendo used to publish their Nintendo titles onto other consoles? That's because they never had their own standalone systems at the time when they made them. But afterwards, it was a free-for-all. It was like each console had their own respective gimmick title and everything. And this is the... Oh, wait a minute. This is the only homebrew title I spotted. Oh my god. Star Fox. This is like the only one. 1983? I am not familiar with this game at all. This is not the Star Fox of the same name like on the Nintendo brand. So I may need to look into that because I'm not sure what the history is behind that one game right there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm so fucking confused. This is all the yep, that's what I thought. These are the Intellivision games right here. The Intellivision games right here are super duper cheap, so it's like if you buy an Intellivision like right now and you were to buy all the games, you would not have any problem getting them. Now this is the ColecoVision. Oh god, hold on, I'm sorry, I almost dropped it. Anyway, yeah. This looks like... No, these are Atari games. I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's what I believe. That's a pretty common issue.
Super Challenge Football, blah blah blah. These are the 5200 games, which lacks labels. So the only way I could just show them is to just show each cartridge. Then there's the 7800 games, which brought back the end labels, all for their convenience, right? But one of the better... If there's one thing I can say is that even though people did not like the 5200 too much, you gotta admit that the 5200 version, I still don't think it was the best version, like on the home consoles. I think it was the NES version that was the better one. The 5200 was undoubtedly better than the 2600 version, not simply because of graphics, but gameplay wise, it was also better. People only remember the 2600 port specifically because of the flicker, because of the flickering dots and everything, and it's one of the many games that got blamed for the reason why the video game crash of the 80s happened in the first place. So yeah, there you go. Oh, that one right there, Pitfall. That's the best one. That one right there is not only one of my favorite 2600 games, but the best out of all the Activision games on the 2600. So, yeah, I would definitely love to make. I would make. Hell, I could even make like a top 10 video. I'm open to the idea. There's Surround, one of the more gimmicky titles on there. I still think Surround's a fun game. Do not at me. There's the Sword Quest games. They only have the Earthworld ones. The other Sword Quest games are very, very rare. So, Earthworld is the only one is the only one that's common. There's the Odyssey 2. I'm not sure which system that is. I think that's the Intellivision 3. Oh, okay. Yeah, they even have the Odyssey games, which has like these handles, which I think was a little bit odd, but hey, it was somewhat creative. Oh, and remember when here's a rare necessity. A video game being played on a cassette. Oh, listen to that song in the background.
I'm just getting the scratches out of your desk at the moment. About a minute.
Yeah, exactly. it's fucking Mega Man. Now, anyway, moving on. We got the Atari. Oh, these are the Atari computers and the that was what it was. It was the expansion module back there, which again allowed you to play Atari games, which was the weirdest concept ever, considering that ColecoVision and Atari were competitors. But I'm assuming they were on good terms. I don't know. I'm so confused by that. Advanced Dungeon. Oh wait, here's the Intellivision games. Those back there were the Atari games. So, yeah, these are the Intellivision games right here. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which was not the most exciting game on the Intellivision, but it was still fine. It was one of the older adventure games that I thought was pretty decent. This one was the expansion module 2 for the ColecoVision. It was a steering wheel made for driving games, and it came with a game called this one was actually based off of the arcade machine from a Sega game called Turbo, and that's what the expansion module 2 did. There's the Vectrex right there, and there you go. Oh, holy shit, man! This was long. This was longer than I was expecting it to be. The GameCube, the Jet Black. I used to have the Jet Black one, but it no longer works. So, yeah, that was history.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.
The Sega Saturn. Yeah, this one was also another steering wheel made for the Saturn. I think this was like one of the only official ones that they made. I don't think there's any other third-party ones for Saturn. And that's the thing, the lack of third-party support for the Saturn is part of the reason why the Saturn failed. So, yeah, how unfortunate for a console that actually did have potential. There's all the GameCube games. This one's gonna be a long time for me to look through, but I'll make this as quick as possible. They have the 2 Resident Evil games, which I own all of them on Steam, so I can't really put that on my list, even if I really wanted to. Now, where's the Mario games at? They definitely have, I don't see any of the Mario, that's weird. I don't see any of the Mario games on GameCube anywhere. Or I might be just blind, which I might be, because I'm so blind. I had never seen this one before, the Telegame Center. I believe this one was meant to put the console inside there, keep it protected or something. Maybe to protect the cartridge slot, but I don't know. But I don't know if that was the case. I might be wrong. So yeah, I might be wrong. Please correct me. They even have the plug-and-play Atari right here, which, you know, it's still pretty cool that they have that. But I would still suggest getting the original Atari just to get the full. If you really want the full experience, I would definitely get the actual Atari and then get the get the cartridge and the controller and everything. These are just random accessories, not too important. They even have the old PC. They even have old PC games right here, which is, I really love that because I love PC games. They have Call of Duty 2, which I have on PC. They even have the PC. This was the first PC port of Resident Evil 4. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not very good at all. It's it's pretty bad. The graphics are lame. I mean, it's playable, but the graphics are lame, very lame. They even have Battlefield 2, which I also have. Oh, this one right here. This is a dinosaur right here. People, this is a more underrated one. They have Test Drive 4 on PC. Now, Test Drive 4 was mostly played on PS1, but there was a PC port, and it even included a bonus track on there that's not available in the PS1 version of the game. They even have all the other older PC games right here, which I'm not gonna go through too much because it's already getting way longer than it's already going on, way longer than expected. But yeah, hold on, wait a minute. They even have Crash Bandicoot right there, and they even have Spyro. Now, this would be one of the perfect times to give them, given that they were both just remastered. Here's the problem. I already have it on PS1, particularly this one right here. I mean, on PS3, I'm sorry. I downloaded them. But the one game I don't have is Fear Effect. Now, the Fear Effect games are so underrated. Mainly because of his messages on LGBT and all that, which I still thought was one of the best things that they did with Fear Effect, and that's why I thought the game had potential. Trust me, it had all the potential in the world. Holy shit. They actually have the import titles of PS1.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.
Now, if you know me, right, you will know that PS1 is one of my favorite consoles. Actually, it is my favorite. It's my all-time favorite console. So you know that if I see anything PS1 related, chances are I'm just gonna go all out. But what I'm more surprised by is the fact that they have the Japanese PS1 games. Like, they have the Japanese version of the original Time Crisis. Like, that's fucking awesome. I'm sorry. That is really awesome. The fact that they have the Japanese port of Time Crisis, which, if any of you go to like an arcade place, you guys probably know this game as being a rail shooter and you can pick up your guns and all of that. There was a home port of Time Crisis, and you could use the Namco GunCon, I believe it was called. Yeah, you could use that, and what you could do with it is that you could just play it just like as if you were in an arcade, plain and simple, right? I want to make this as quick because I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna lash out. I know I will. Now, I don't have to worry about Tekken 3. I already have that. Tekken 3 is hands down easily one of the best games on there. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Just fucking play it, please. Just fucking play it. You will love it, and you will not regret it. They even have the original controllers in their boxes, which is awesome. I wish there was a price tag on here because this one could eventually be one of my pickups for today. But yeah, that's whatever. It's over and done with. They even have Street Fighter Alpha 3, which was one of the rarer ports of Street Fighter Alpha, and this one is and they even have Dead or Alive as well. Both these games are actually kind of rare, to be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't say they're rare, they're just very uncommon, right? But I would still suggest buying them, especially if you're a hardcore fan of the PlayStation 1. I would highly suggest getting, these two, especially if you love fighting games. Like, if you love fighting games, chances are you're going to love these games even more. Because people like Street Fighter Alpha 3, which kind of inspired many of the future elements of the series, but also people love Dead or Alive as well. And Dead or Alive recently just had a new entry. A lot of people didn't think it was all that good, but if you do want to have a throwback to the original, there you go. It's right there for you. They They have Siphon Filter, which I do have, and Jet Moto. Jet Moto was actually one of the most fun racing games on the PS1. It was made by the same group that did the Twisted Metal games, so that's so that's what made it even better. Is that the same people who did Twisted Metal, which Twisted Metal is one of my favorite vehicular combat games. Actually, it is my favorite vehicular combat series of all time. You will love Jet Moto. Jet Moto really is a very fun. It's really fucking good. I'm telling you. Now wait a second. I don't think I have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. They do have the PS1 ports of the third game, which I feel like that the PS2 version was no doubt better. That's pure. But I still have no problem with the PS1 version because I grew up on that. Same thing with the PS2 version, but the PS2 version was still better. They even have Test Drive. They actually do have a lot more PS1 games in their collection than what I was expecting to. And most stores, like I said, they usually lack a lot of it. They even have WCW Nitro, which I don't know if I ever want to get that. I think I might, just so that way I could do a Mad Reptile episode on that. They even have WWF SmackDown. SmackDown, this was definitely one of the best wrestling games ever made. When SmackDown first came out, people were actually stunned by how fast and arcade-paced it was. And that's why SmackDown became the series that it is today, up to WWE 2K now. All because of that. Oh, and wait a second. I do not remember the original Grandia being on PlayStation as well. Again, if you're a huge PlayStation 1 fan, there you go. They have the original Grandia in Japanese on the PlayStation 1, not just on Saturn. But if you do, like I said, if you are a huge fan of the Saturn, like I said, you could go for that. So really, it really wouldn't matter which port you played, honestly. To be truthful with you. Now, Tekken 2, that one's not really that weird. I had never seen this one before, the Beacon. I think this one was like a third-party accessory made for the PlayStation 1 for certain games. I can't remember what it was used for, so that's a new necessity to me. You learn like I said, you learn new stuff every day. They even have the original PlayStation game consoles in their original box. This was the DualShock version, which was one of the later models that they did when they fixed major issues with the disc drive. And they even have the PS1 Slim. A lot of people know this one specifically because of that little device that you would plug into the back of the system, where it would make you a portable monitor screen. I mean, you still needed AC power, but essentially, it would make it somewhat portable. I wouldn't call it portable. I would just say it was just like, it would allow you to play it basically anywhere. Like, say if someone was to use a TV, you could use that peripheral to play on the PS1. Now that accessory is rare, not necessarily rare, it's just more like uncommon, but I would still try to find it whenever you get a chance. Especially, like I said, you need the you need the Slim. That's the thing, you need the Slim. So yeah, they have a lot more PS1 games over here. They even have Cool Borders. Now, Cool Borders is not one of my favorites, but it's still a game that I still come back to, particularly the second game, because this was the game I used to play this game a lot when I was a kid, so I always revisit it every now and then because it really is, it is a fun game, but it's challenging, but I still wouldn't call it one of the best games on the PS1. It's just a personal opinion that I have regarding that particular game. Okay. Oh, Rob, not only is Rob the Robot in there, but look, they even have Virtual Boy games. But I don't see the Virtual Boy anywhere. But I do see Super Nintendo games and NES games, but I don't see it anywhere. Strange.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.